girls. I'm on my phone because take a look. My computer. What are you doing? It's grinding away something. I unhooked it and went to clean up the cabling, and it now it won't start back up. So that's fun. That's loads of fun. It tried to do an automatic repair, and then it said, "We're going to scan your drive for errors," and it said, "Startup repair failed." It's pretty much the way my life's been going right now. I think because if you look, I don't know if you can see the little light is like solid. So it was trying to do a restore point, and we'll see. I haven't posted anything in a couple of weeks, and there's a good reason for that. No, look, you can see a little bit of my two-tat. Things have just been crappy around my house, my life, and my family's life. In case you don't follow me on Twitter, my mom passed away. Today's Saturday. This past Monday, and we laid her to rest on Wednesday. I performed the funeral service, and that was one of the most difficult things I'd ever done. But it was really a surprise. It was 2 weeks ago today, and I'm going to be candid here. I'm going to be blunt, and once you hear why, or hear what I'm going to say, you'll understand why, because this has become an important thing for me. Let me turn this fan off. I'm not sure if you hear the whirring of it. Nope, don't turn it off at the light, dummy. Turn it off. 1, 2, 3, and it's off. So let me sit back on my perch. Sorry for the bad lighting. So it was 2 weeks ago today. If you followed any of my vlogs or anything, you'll know that my mom's been sick. She's been sick for a while, and it not just physical ailments. I wish there was somewhere I could set this. Let me see if I can position this in a way I don't have to. Woo. My mom's been sick for a while, and it's been a combination of physical ailments as well as psychological / emotional ailments. She suffered depression, and we have wondered through the years whether or not she's been bipolar. She's never been diagnosed as being bipolar. But the evidence of it was there. It was the ups, it was the highs and the lows. That she would have really good days and really bad days, or days you just loved to be around her, and days you just had to stay away. So 2 weeks ago tonight, I should say, my mother made a decision to, I guess, and I really have difficulty saying this because it's really hard for me to get my mind around, because I don't understand. I mean, I guess in some way I could understand how someone could get to this point, but the reality of it, being hit so close to home with it, it bothers me to wonder what was going through her mind. And if you haven't put two and two together, my mother had reached a point to where she could not go on anymore. And she chose to take a large amount of blood pressure pills, and in an attempt to take her own life. And I say in an attempt because it did not work. I don't think it worked in the manner that she was hoping. I think she took them on a Saturday night 2 weeks ago, and I think she was hoping she would take them, she would fall asleep, and it would be done. But it did not play out that way. So 2 weeks ago tomorrow, I received a phone call from my dad saying Mama's sick, which is not unusual. Um, she was having some issues with her left side, so we immediately thought stroke. And he asked if I could call my sister to come and see about her, and why he didn't. I think by that time I don't know if he'd call an ambulance or not, or call 911. But I called my sister. My sister went over there, and normally it's routine. She goes to the doctor. She takes her trip to the emergency room. They get her straightened out. She goes home. I mean, it's just a cycle. Um, so this time was different. Many of you know we just moved. We moved out of my parents' home, and I think part of her decision making was the fact that she felt alone, because she expressed to my wife that right before we finished moving that she was going to be all alone, and so that has weighed heavily on me, trying to deal with that part of it, because I can't help but wonder if we had not moved, would this have happened? But anyway, she went to the hospital. My sister, we had to go pick up some furniture, um, and my sister called me and said, "You really need to come up here. Mama's blood pressure keeps dipping down." So I go up there. My wife and we go up there, and uh, we were not there 10 minutes. And I was standing in the hallway. I went in for a minute. The nurses were trying to get her blood, and I was going to get out of the way. She right before I got there, she was awake, and she had just told my sister, "I don't feel good," and she told her to just get some rest. And so I walked outside to kind of stay out of the way, and my wife stayed in there, and my sister was out in the hallway, and my dad was out in the hallway, and uh, for lack of a better term, that's when hell broke loose, because it was we were not, I had not walked out of the room. We were not there 10 minutes, and she coded. We saw the blue light come on, bunch of commotion. My sister just went to pieces. Um, and there went the spiral downhill. Um, they worked on her for almost four. You hear my southern accent there. For They worked on her for 10 minutes, 18 minutes. They worked on her for 18 minutes. And just before calling it, one doctor wanted to call it, but the nurse wouldn't give up. And in hindsight, some way I wish they would have called it, because what followed was a nightmare. Uh, they got a faint pulse. They figured out there must be something going on with her blood pressure. And they moved her to ICU. And after being moved to ICU, she coded 2 more times. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we were at the hospital every day all that week, and talking with the doctors would assess her, and um, through some investigating and talking to my dad, and checking my mom's medicine at home, we found out about the pills. And But as the week progressed, after being moved to ICU and coding 3 times, the neurologist by the end of the week, well, by the middle of the week, the neurologist said she had been put on a ventilator and they were slowly starting to wean her off of it. But they kept giving her medication to keep her blood pressure up. So we were hopeful. We were hopeful. But the neurologist, as the week progressed, the neurologist said, we should be seeing some improvement. And as they reduced the sedation, there was one thing: she did start to open her eyes. She did start to have a sleep wake cycle, and but she was not there. According to the neurologist, the 18 minutes of cardiac arrest and those other 2 episodes of cardiac arrest, she suffered severe brain damage, and she would not pull out of it. So come that Friday before this past, we had to say, okay, are we gonna keep her on the ventilator, or are we gonna take her off? And through some talk, with my family and I, and we made the decision to remove the ventilator because, and here's the thing is, right after we made that decision, the day after, my dad and I were up there to visit her in ICU, and while we were in there, she stopped breathing once. By this time, they had weaned her down on the ventilator to working as a CPAP, which means it kicks in whenever there's a lack of breathing, lack of respiratory function. Just seems so surreal. So anyway, last weekend we had to meet with the doctor Monday. So my dad and I were up there, and she had stopped breathing once. Machine kicked in, helped her breathe some more, and that happened a couple more times Saturday and Sunday. By Sunday, late Sunday, they had moved her back onto the ventilator completely. She was no longer breathing on her own. So she was suffering from respiratory failure, and the family come up there Monday. We met with the neurologist. The neurologist said that through tests that her upper brain functions no longer functioned. Her functions around her brainstem, which actually kept her body alive, was working, but it was now failing. So we made the decision this past Monday to remove the ventilator and see if nature would take its course. She would either breathe on her own and be in a vegetative state, or she would not. And it worked out to where she did not. As difficult as it was, my sister was standing on one side of the bed. I was standing on the other. We were holding her hands. My dad was at the foot. And we had other family members in there as well. My brother and in-law, my sister-in-law, and my wife, and my nephew, and a couple other people. And she passed peacefully. But what still haunts me is the fact that she was in such a state, mentally and emotionally, that she felt that she couldn't go on, and that tears me up. I've been numb. I've been detached from it all. I don't feel I deserve to mourn because I have the guilt, and I'm going to get help with that. I'm going to get help with that because I know I can't blame myself. So I'm taking this very seriously. That depression, and if people are suffering with depression, and they've ever talked of suicide, take them serious. Take them very serious. Help them any way that you can. When my mother passed, it was I can say it would probably have been easier knowing that she passed due to health issues, other than the fact that she she had reached the end of her rope. So, and I will say that if anyone wants to leave any comments below that are negative, um, that are that want to, um, you want to leave positive comments, fine. But any negative comments, any comments that uh, call my mother names, will be deleted, and the user will be blocked. I'm in no emotional state to deal with that, and I know there are trolls out there. So I'm putting this out here for one reason, and one reason alone, is to tell you to love those that are around you. Don't take each day for granted, no matter how difficult that person may be, no matter how many trials you may go through with an individual. Love them. Let them know that you love them. Don't leave yourself guessing if they know or not. Don't leave them guessing if they know or not. And if they suffer from depression, please help them if you can. Don't end up suffering the same hurt that I am right now. Um, if you want, I'm gonna leave a link in the description. My mother didn't have any insurance or burial or anything like that, and we've been left with the responsibility of taking care of her funeral expenses, which are astronomical. We've had quite a few donations already, and we've had someone give a large donation that took care of a large portion of it. We still have about $2,000 left to go, in order to have this taken care of. So, if you can, please click on the link in the description and help out. If not, then just send your prayers and positive thoughts our way. We really need it right now. I really need it right now. Hopefully, as things settle down and I get back into more routine, maybe I can get back to recording again. I just haven't felt very social. I've been on Pirate Academy a few times over the past couple of days, and haven't really done anything. Just hop on there, kind of wander around. I talked to Joe the Pirate, for a minute last night, and he was on. I appreciate my friend Joe. Joe, you're the best, man. Listening to me have a pity party. Uh, you're a good friend. Talbotron, you are a great friend. You are a great friend. Talbotron's been there, even though we're thousands of miles away, across the pond. He has tried to be here as much as he could for me. Him and Annie, even his fiance, even sent flowers to the funeral. Um, you're an awesome friend. Uh, that's all I got to say, I guess. Just wanted to give everyone an update. And yeah, that's been my 2 weeks of hell. Keep your loved ones close, people. Let them know you love them. And if there's cries for help, you better listen. Because you just never know. You never know.